Today, we'll be rating and discussing every driver on the 2024 Formula E grid. This video will primarily focus on organising these drivers from S tier to F tier. The rules are slightly loose, but we're mainly considering three factors to determine where each driver belongs: personality, race results, and racecraft. Obviously, many other things make each driver special. However, for the sake of this video, these factors work best in sorting out all 22 drivers. You'll be surprised at where a few names land on this list, but we have some worthwhile info to back up our placement. So, to get right into it, let's start with Sam Bird, B tier. Formula E's very own Renaissance man, Bird has had an illustrious career so far in this racing series. If there is any driver that deserves a spot among Formula E's greatest, Bird has secured that position. Although he's never won a championship, many fans would agree that he has all the makings of a true champion. He's a B-tier driver, but for what it's worth, he's S-tier in all our hearts. Jake Dennis, S-tier. Coming off a world championship in season 9, Jake Dennis is at the top of his game in Formula E. As the first British winner of the Formula E driver's title, it's difficult to write off his magnificence. Jake's real strength comes from his consistency. In his championship season, he was able to score 11 podiums and 2 wins in total. With the right car, you'll find him battling at the front in every weekend. While he's still relatively new in the series, Dennis is quickly reaching a status that many never get to see. S tier. Nick Cassidy, A tier. A driver with the right tools to compete for the Formula E Championship, Nick Cassidy is not one to scoff at. His time in the racing series has been extremely successful so far, and he's already challenged for the title in season 9, coming close to glory but finishing as a runner-up. He's a highly decorated driver with a Super GT and Super Formula championships. 2024 is starting to look a lot like Cassidy's year. At the time of making this video, he sits at the top of the standings. He's an A-tier driver for sure. Mitch Evans, B tier. The other Kiwi driver in the Jaguar seat alongside Cassidy, Mitch Evans has a similar story to his teammate, but he was never quite able to bounce back to an amazing season after being within the grasp of a championship in 2021-22. He's still one of the better drivers on the grid. However, he'll need to make the most of Jaguar's current setup if he wants to reach unprecedented levels of respect within the ranks. Currently, he's still a force to reckon with. However, he's not quite there yet in terms of consistency, a B-tier driver with strong S-tier potential. Pascal Verline, S-tier. As a driver for the Porsche team, Verline has made a name for himself among the strongest on the current grid. The German driver was able to achieve a strong 2023 season with a total of 3 wins and a podium finish. When it's his day, nobody on the grid is able to even come close to Verline's abilities. We saw this in the 2023 double he achieved in Diriyah. Verline has also shown that he's able to outperform the car and take fights to the front of the grid. That's why he's worth considering as an S-tier talent. JeanEric Vergne, S tier. With the level of competition at play in Formula E, it's impressive that certain drivers are able to earn back-to-back championships. For Vergne, winning the 2018 and 2019 Formula E Championship titles is an achievement that is hard to argue against. He's the real deal. While his steam from those championships is not as intense, he's still a thorn on the side of any driver vying for a Formula E Championship. You'll consistently find him in the top 5 of a season, which is why he's an S-tier talent. Sebastian Buy, S tier. One of the earliest champions that the sport ever saw, Buemi is a true genius in racecraft. As the Season 2 Formula E winner, Buemi has built on that momentum by achieving a record of 13 wins, 30 podiums, and 16 pole positions in total. With his Season 9 campaign ending in 6th place, Buemi is still a strong force of competition. His time at Envision Racing is promising, and Season 10 has been a decent start so far. Maximilian Gunther, A tier. One of the less popular drivers on the grid, but still a pretty solid figure overall. For Gunther, there have been lots of ups and downs in his career. Jumping from teams like GOX Dragon to Andretti and Nissan did not exactly help him find his footing. Yet in spite of this, the 26-year-old has managed to make a statement with some of his performances over the years. With 4 wins to his name and 8 podiums, he's a solid performer with the right conditions. However, there's still a lot of potential to display. For now though, he belongs in A tier. Antonio Felix da Costa, A tier. From a strong prospect in F1's Red Bull Racing Junior program, da Costa has managed to break out of that shadow and craft a name for himself in Formula E. Winning the Season 6 championship, Costa has had quite the adventure with his career, standing on the podium 19 times so far and grabbing 8 victories in total. While he's not at the top of the driver rankings, he's not one to scoff at. His last lap overtake in 2023's Cape Town E Prix is a reminder that he can switch it on at any time. A true A-tier driver. Norman Nato, C-tier. Joining Andretti in Season 10 of Formula E, Norman is finally giving himself an opportunity to go for a championship alongside reigning champion Jake Dennis. However, he's going to need his A-game if he wants to beat his teammate. Dennis will likely give him a run for his money this season, but Norman could gain some valuable experience as an Andretti driver. He's alright for the sport, but in reality, he's only a C-tier driver right now. Stoffel Vandor, B-tier. A huge name in motorsports, Stoffel Vandor is not new to criticism. While we're adding our 2 cents to his worth as a driver, he's still one that's always been riding on a unique path. His Season 8 campaign was unlike any other in the sport's history. While he hasn't been at the front of the pack for a short while, he's still the type of driver that belongs there. With a strong resume, he's slowly climbing back to his peak self. For now though, he's a B-tier driver. Jak Q's C-tier. After serving some time as a test driver, Jak Q made his official debut last year. However, it wasn't the special experience many were expecting. The McLaren rookie is definitely talented, but there really wasn't anything that made him feel like a challenge. Next to the grid's experienced competitors, he looked like a fish out of water. He will only get better with time, but he's currently a C-tier driver. Eduardo Mortara, C-tier. This Swiss-Italian driver has made a bit of a reputation for himself as a crash-prone racer. However, we cannot deny his speed when the stars are aligned. Unfortunately, the stars rarely align, and that's where the problem lies. Currently racing for Mahindra, Mortara once had a championship-level career back in Season 7 and 8. There's still a beast in there somewhere. For now though, he's only a C-tier driver. Lucas Degrassi, C-tier. An absolute legend of Formula E, Degrassi is no stranger to competition. As one of the sport's biggest names, he's had a host of experience across the generations. Winning the Season 3 championship and debuting in the series with a victory is something that can never be topped. However, a series of team changes has made for some unsuccessful recent seasons. Now that he's back at the Jak Q team, there's a twinkle of hope in his eye. It might be misplaced though. A true speed freak, Degrassi hits this list as a C-tier driver currently. Sasha Fenestraz, D-tier. Making his debut in the Season 8 Formula E season finale, Fenestraz has gone on to make some good impressions with performances in the past year. Getting pole position in Cape Town was certainly his breakout moment, netting him the fastest ever Formula E lap. However, he's still yet to score a podium or achieve any concrete metrics worthy of a respected driver. He's still amazing, no doubt. If he wants to stand on the shoulders of some decorated giants, he'll need to be a driver that's above D tier currently. Dan Ticktum, E tier. There he is, everyone's favourite driver, Dan Ticktum. With a loud personality and many controversial opinions, Ticktum has made a name for himself as the bad boy of Formula E. He's got some pace for sure, but considering his personal hype compared to his actual performances, there's really no way to have mercy on his rating in this list. Finishing 17th place in Season 9, Ticktum is not quite who he thinks he is, and that's okay. In reality, Ticktum is an E-tier driver. Nico Müller, F tier. Debuting in the 2019 season, the Swiss driver has experienced quite a bit of turmoil in his career. From a contract fiasco with Dragon Racing, he's been one of the unfortunate folks on this list. Without that solid sense of stability in the earlier stages of his FE career, he's mostly been an afterthought for a long time. Now, the Swiss racer hopes to find some newfound footing in the 2024 season with Jak Q. With a lackluster career so far, Müller sits at the F tier on this list for now. Sergio Set Camara, D tier. If there's a driver on the current Formula E grid that seems like an eternal underdog, it has to be Set Camara. He's a solid driver, even if he doesn't have the fancy stats to back it up. With a stronger team, he's got the potential to do some amazing things. He's shown us some stellar performances with his qualifying duels appearances over time. For now though, he's nothing too special compared to where the rest of the grid sits. We'll have to place him in D tier. Oliver Roland, D tier. Oliver Roland made his return to Nissan in Season 10 for some exciting racing. He was a solid driver during his time racing for Mahindra in Season 2, however he made all the difference at Nissan, where he was able to secure a victory and 5 podiums. He eventually made a move to Mahindra for 2 seasons, but he was relatively unsuccessful at the team. There have been struggles for the British driver, but he's a solid talent on a good day. D tier, but he can easily cross the bar into C tier. For that, he needs a few more solid performances. Robin Frijns, C tier. 2-time race winner and a force to be reckoned with, Envision Racing's Robin Frijns is a challenger that takes the fight to the final laps. However, what exactly does this mean for his career? Well, he's had 4 solid reasons with Envision, collecting 14 podiums at the team. His season 9 was quite terrible if we're being honest, but there is no doubt that he's better than those results. With season 10, he can turn things around and earn some solid points. With a podium in the bag already, he's escaped the doom of D tier and earned a place in C tier, slowly climbing up. After one of the most disappointing career moves in motorsport's history, Nick de Vries would like to set things in order back in Formula E. He hopes to achieve this with Mahindra and elevate them back to winning form. However, getting that confidence back will take some time. He is an excellent driver, and even though he could never display his talent in F1, he's sure to bring some spark into Formula E in Season 10. For Nick, we have a B tier driver on our hands. Jani Daruvall, D tier. Once India's golden boy, a potential Force India F1 driver, Daruvall has had a bit of a rough few years. However, his Formula E debut might turn out to be the home he's been seeking for a while. Racing for Maserati MSG, he's the only rookie on the 2024 grid. Yet, given his previous career experience, he still deserves some respect on the tier list. For now, we'll have to consider him as a D tier talent. So, there you have it, the official Formula Everything 2024 tier list. Do you agree with our selections? Probably not. That's why discussions are open, and we can't wait to read your thoughts in the comment section down below.